As the president-elect, Donald Trump has repeated his pledge to shake up Washington. And a big lead part of that includes a proposed constitutional amendment that would impose term limits on all members of Congress. Bloomberg's Kevin Whitelaw has more on how that might play out on Capitol Hill.
Donald Trump talked a lot about draining the swamp during his presidential campaign, and one of the elements of that proposal was to impose term limits on Congress. This would include, he said, 6-year limits on House members, that'd be 3 terms, and 12-year limits on senators, which would mean 2 terms. This will be a lot harder to actually implement, though, and it's actually not something he's talked about as much, or if at all, since he actually won the election. The last time Congress actually looked at term limits was back in 1995. This was after the Supreme Court said it is not constitutional to impose term limits on members of Congress. The only vote that resulted in a majority fell well short of the 2/3 majority needed to actually advance the constitutional amendment to the Senate. Another similar result the following year, and it's never been tried since. Fact of the matter is, most members don't want term limits. Having said that, if he decides to make that one of his signature pushes and decides to go for the grassroots campaign, it might be pretty awkward for Republicans to ignore it. There is a real warning, though, for people who watch government closely. They say you have to be very careful about imposing something like term limits. What you actually could end up doing is increasing the power, not decreasing the power of lobbyists. That's because members who are in office for less time tend to need to rely more on the help of outsiders, usually paid lobbyists, as opposed to people who've been in Congress a long time and have developed some serious expertise of their own.